Hello, friend.
Hello, friend. Feeling jazzy this morning, were you?
Yeah, a little bit, a little bit. How you doing?
I am awesome. How are you?
I'm wonderful today. It's a beautiful Sunday morning here.
It is. We can see that.
Bright and shiny.
Yeah. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Hello.
Good morning, everybody in chat. We have a fairly robust episode for you today.
Beefy, if I would say beefy.
Beefy. It's a good word. One of my kids was actually commenting on how much I like that word yesterday. So,
Really? Do you like to say the word beefy a lot?
word beefy.
Hey.
And we have a special guest. Yeah, so all that, when we get started, but yeah.
Let's say hi to chat real quick. Good morning, everybody. Hello, good to see you guys. Thank you, Frosty, first of all, for having everybody come on over. That's wonderful of you. We really appreciate that. I see you guys have been in chat for a while. So Mark is here. Luther, Frank McCain, Miss Aloha 1970. Hello. Jackalope Herdmaster. That's a great name.
It is.
Let's see. Eric Breyer. Hello, sir. Good to see you. Wait, Jack Young 5095. I never heard of that guy before. Paula Bloom. Hello, Paula. Good morning.
It would be cake.
I heard there would be cake. Well, there might be. Dad's Junk. Hello. Wonderful to see you. Keith Gilner. Good to see you. Thank you so much for hanging out with us this morning. Let's see, who am I missing? Casey Coin Guy. There he is. Hello. Fully Sound. Good day, sir. Nana Stacks. Hello.
Adam, are you going to come to Central States?
I don't know. We'll see what the chat says. I'm just going to keep going.
Live?
Don't know. Dandy Dave, 1949. Good to see you.
Farm Dog.
M Lovemo. Hello, Farm Dog. What's shaking? Hello, everyone. Okay, I think that's everybody. Good morning.
Yeah, so we have a robust show today, and I cannot wait to do it because we have a special guest.
He is special, and he is a guest, so that therefore makes him a special guest.
Actually, he's been a guest before, just not in this capacity.
Not in the. Hey, Frank, good to see you, buddy. Yes, not in this capacity. You're correct, but that's okay. That's why we do these things. And so I mean, with that said, you want to just fire the sucker off and get moving?
Oh,
yeah.
It is episode 254 of the Coin Show podcast. I'm Mike.
And I am Matt.
And we have quite the show for you today. We have, let's just bring him right out. We have a special guest for you.
Okay.
A warm Coin Show welcome for the entire hour to Jack Young.
Hello, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, Jack.
Am I supposed to say where's the beef?
Oh my gosh. No.
No,
there's no beef here.
I won't say that.
No. But it is beefy. And beefsteak. So on this episode of the Coin Show podcast, we are going to do an absolutely epic, coolest thing. 3-way between us and Jack, and I hear that Jack has brought surprises. We have definitely brought the heat this time, so we'll see what's coming.
Yep.
And we're going to take your questions. We'll talk to all of you in chat. But first, as always, the news.
Who is it, Mike?
Oh, this is awesome. So the news is brought to us by halogen lights, because good can be fine if you don't have the right lighting.
I like that one. That's a good coin nerd joke right there, buddy.
Thank you.
I like that.
Yeah. So the SS Central America is back in the news because a $10 million Eureka Gold Rush bar has come up for sale.
$10 million bar is up for sale. Well, let's just take a look at this bar.
Let's take a look at it. So Kagan's Digital is a subsidiary of Kagan's in San Francisco, but they are going to offer this bar. It's a 933 ounce gold bar from the California Gold Rush.
But they're doing it in a dumb way.
Well, that's,
I don't want to buy a share. Let's see how much it is. I'm curious. $4,400 a share. You can buy 1 millionth ownership in said bar.
yes. What if you want to take your part?
Yeah, doesn't happen. It's secured by the blockchain, though. Did you see that part?
Yeah.
My eyes rolled so hard you might have heard them.
Well, I may not celebrate the actual happening of this. It's like it's news. It's different. It's a really big bar.
Don't get me wrong. It's a super cool piece, but that just seems kitschy and not,
Yeah, I want to own it, but I don't want to pay for it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and the thing is, they're selling, the bar contains an insurance valuation of $10 million. Well, what do we know about insurance values compared to actual value of things?
High.
Yeah.
I mean, a private buyer paid $8 million for it.
I don't know. The whole blockchain transaction, blah, blah, blah. It did.
Well, I mean, that's not really why I called on this story. Like I said, the Central America is back in the news. And why is the Central America back in the news? Because somebody's out of jail.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
If you were paying attention on our socials this week, you saw this story go by.
Right. So the man who found the greatest sunken treasure is now free. He has served his prison sentence. But there are still 500 coins that are missing.
Yeah. It's a very, very interesting story if you go down the rabbit hole. It's a very strange story. And he sat in jail for 10 years just as a instead of giving up the location of those said coins, which are probably long gone, but you never know.
Well, no, my guess is that since he kept quiet, he knows where they're at. The only problem is that there's still stolen property.
Right.
And so he would be committing another crime if he was to access them again.
Well, see, the thing is, these are not actual like coins recovered from the shipwreck. They're not that. They are modern restrikes that they did from gold from the Central America. So they are coins that it actually probably would be possible to sell because there are quite a few of them out there already.
And maybe he's created a new form with them. Maybe he's melted them into something else and is trying to use it that way.
Yeah, that's the thing. They are not old $20 gold pieces. They took some of the really crappy gold bars they found down there, they melted them down, and they made commemorative coins with them and sold those, and that's what was missing.
What was your comment, Jack?
I just wonder what he was going to do with them when he got them. I mean, but now I understand from Matt's comment, they're not real.
Yeah. So
the gold itself still valuable.
Correct. Yes. Oh, yes. I mean, they're definitely gold coins. But again, 500 gold coins that are modern struck is a lot different than 500 classic 20s. So
I just thought it was an interesting story.
For sure. Very sure.
So in the United States Mint news, the 2026 half dollar doesn't have JFK.
Nope.
But more importantly, the U.S. Mint has reopened subscriptions.
I saw this, which is kind of interesting.
I think that they buried the lead on this one.
Yeah. I think so too. The subscriptions are back for these coins, which is kind of cool. I have had them. I'm sure you have too in my hand. They are pretty darn neat. We actually, on our eBay stream the other day, we had a platinum, half-ounce platinum eagle, and we held it up next to one of these. They're very, very similar in look and style. So
it's nice. And, hey, it's a one-year design, but still going to be really popular. I feel bad for the coin shops 20 years from now that get the phone.
Yeah, it's going to be very similar to the bicentennial quarters that we see still in change everywhere.
And circulation fines. Can you really find half dollars in circulation?
No, nobody uses these things.
But the dime will be out there. And
sure, the dime and a quarter, 100%.
Quarters are out there already, and we've been giving away halves in the shop.
Nice.
We've been doing it as change. Sometimes we just give them to people. We took a couple of rolls at the new quarters and busted them and threw them into the change drawer. So if you actually do buy something in, we never give change, but this gives us a reason to give change.
Round up. Mike always rounds up.
Stop yourself.
Oh boy.
So,
All right.
in other Mint news, the prescriptions are open, but the Philadelphia Mint tours are closed.
Womp womp.
Yeah. So the Philadelphia Mint, has decided that they're doing renovations, and so they're closing their tours and their gift shop. This is something that's always nice to know. I made a trip to Philadelphia once on a whim and stopped in at the Mint, and it just happened to be that they weren't making coins, and so it was kind of not much to see.
Kind of boring that day.
Yeah, they didn't have a tour.
Oh.
And I think if I'm honest, I might have just kind of walked through the tour, just didn't get to the floor because it was the only place you really couldn't get to.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
They don't want you poking around, losing a finger in a coin press. You know.
That's half the fun.
Well, half the hand, too. Half the finger.
The stub is a souvenir. So 2026 Gold Proof Eagles have posted their best debut since 2023. I think everything that comes out this year is just going to blow out because of the dual date and the significance of the date.
Yeah, you know me. I don't like this new stuff. I crap on it always.
You had to get excited about it, Matt. Speaking facts, I think that the average, to use one of Vegas terms, gummy bear person out there is going to buy these because they're historically significant.
Right.
Value, that's for time to tell. We'll see what happens. But it's funny to me that have you seen any regular gold eagles yet this year?
No, not a one.
Yeah. So they got proof ones out there.
Yeah. I mean, they're probably waiting for this market to settle down a little bit and figure out what it's doing first.
Well, they've been making a lot of silver ones too.
Yeah.
And
Maybe. Hard to say.
And probably some of the other ones that are coming, because there's a lot of new stuff that's coming. So skip ahead to.
You want to hear something funny? We have already bought a 2026 Silver Eagle across the counter. Proof.
Lovely.
Yeah, isn't that nuts?
Yeah. Well,
so
I'm proof across the counter?
Yeah. Yeah. Dual date proof. Okay, so we're going to the uncirculated enhanced gold eagle, right?
It's uncirculated. So in new Mint news, the Mint this year is going to do an enhanced uncirculated gold American Eagle.
I like it, kind of. Look at it. It kind of looks like the
can't tell anything from the images, though.
Yeah.
It looks like a burnished coin.
Yeah, I was going to say
it's not going to look like a burnished coin unless, God, they do it like the enhanced circulated.
I think it would look cool if they did like an old sandblast proof from back in the day.
That they can do that.
I know. I'm just saying. Hey, I think that would be really cool looking.
One of your own.
Right.
Really wouldn't be all that different from the process to make the coin, then they sandblast it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so these are going to be enhanced uncirculated. So they're going to do an enhanced uncirculated gold and an enhanced uncirculated silver. And if you go to the Mint website, you can see on the product schedule, it's like the silver one comes out first in April, and then in May, the gold one is coming out.
Let's see. April, we have the silver enhanced. And then we have the buffalo. And then May, we have the gold enhanced.
Is the gold enhanced. And then in June comes the Morgan and Peace dollar enhanced uncirculated. So
then they start making superheroes. Very interesting.
But really?
All right.
So in other Mint news, the first time without FDR. And the U.S. Mint has now begun to offer dime rolls and bags.
People are freaking out because this thing doesn't have the olive branch anymore. I've been reading about it.
Oh, and here's really the point of it, though. It's not done that way on purpose. Somebody asked Jeff Garrett this morning, and he said, well, he thought it was an artistic choice. Well, it kind of is.
Or is it, though? Conspiracy theory, Earth is flat, we never went to the moon, aliens live in Chicago. I mean, like...
Hey.
Sorry, are you an alien?
Scary city.
But I'm just saying, those kind of people will freak out. They're freaking out about this. And, yeah.
Well, understand this point, okay? The eagle on all of our coins has always been about heraldry. And if you look, there is a right claw, there's a left claw, okay? The right claw is what they call the Dexter claw, is what we prefer. The left claw is what we will go to. This coin is dated 1776 to 2026. It's here to celebrate the anniversary, easy for me to say, of the American Revolution.
Yes.
We declared war on Britain. It was a choice of ours. We preferred war to win our freedom. This says liberty over tyranny. This is talking about the Revolutionary War. There was no olive branch. There was none of that. It's not what it's there for.
Right.
It's not controversial.
I agree, but everybody's making something out of it, and people are losing their minds.
Yeah, it's mostly. I hate to use the term ignorance because in its purest sense, it is.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. And the next story, There you go.
There you go. And this is where people are, kind of losing their mind over it. But I mean, that's just the fact of the matter is, it's heraldry. That's what it's supposed to be.
Symbolism.
There was one in our early mint where they got it backwards, and the olive branches are in the wrong. They're in the wrong claw. But that, again, was a heraldry mistake.
Yeah.
So, given coin designs, the CCAC has discussed 2027 dated coin designs, and the Working Dogs commemorative coins. Look,
we're getting doggy coins. I like doggy coins. Look at this one. This one, doggy coin. Oh, who's a big sweetie? Who's a big sweetie?
This is the commemorative coin.
I love it.
That's what it should say down there. Who's a
big sweetie? Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. So that's going to be, and then the other commemorative is going to be for Billie Jean King.
I like it.
Yeah.
And then we got some others down here too.
Here's the only problem I've got. Billie Jean King still alive.
Yeah. Well, we've obviously come to say that no longer matters anymore.
Can we please? We're going to get to that later.
I know.
I don't even want to get to that, but we're going to get to that. So, yes, Billie Jean King, a remarkable life and championing equal rights for everyone. She is truly a civil rights leader, not just a tennis player.
Correct. Then we have these Paralympics, regular Olympics.
No. Those are the quarters.
Oh, these are the quarters. Gotcha.
Quarters.
I don't pay
now,
attention.
Here's the only thing that I'll give you. It looks like it might be a 1-year program.
Maybe. I mean, with everything else that's going on lately, I can see that being a thing.
It's not all inclusive here.
I mean, we're missing football. So, no, it's definitely a 2-year program.
Kids don't play football. Concussions.
Well, you got snowboarding on here now. Come on.
You got Paralympics, too. Wheelchair basketball.
Yeah, but no football. No, that's a 2-year program for sure.
All right, we'll have to see.
I gotta think it is. But let's get back to this dog coin real quick. Which one of these is your favorite? I like this one. I like the bottom one here with the two dogs looking to the right. That's my favorite. Those big sweeties.
What do you think, Jack?
I'm just going to wait for the counterfeits.
Oh no!
Wow! What an incredibly
man has one focus.
Probably come out first.
This man has one focus, and it is not
no kid
on the big sweeties.
I mean, the dogs are cool. I really like it. I don't know that we should definitely like design numbers. What 5? Dogs looking to the. I like the design, but it's like, do we really need that?
Yes, of course we do.
The one to the left of it is way too busy and really won't strike. Most of the other ones look like they're way too busy. So we're going to end up with this one with the two dogs.
The two dogs or the one next to it, maybe.
Or the one next to her. It says, "Who's a good boy?
Who's a good? Who wants some belly scratches?
You want a treat?"
You want some scratches for me, sweetie? Yeah, exactly. That's the one. I'm gonna call these the big sweetie coins. Yep. All right, next story.
Yeah. Okay. So, also mint news: a unique Martha Washington scent test piece was linked to the Sacagawea dollar trial. So they found a test piece in 1999. And it
Was in a bag of scents.
it
Huh?
was a
Weird.
bag of 99 Lincoln cents. So it was done while they were doing the test striking for the Sacagawea. And and you've told us about the fact that the Martha Washington design was what was on a lot of the trial pieces.
Yeah, we actually had one of these walk in my office one time. Yeah, they used that Martha Washington design on several trials, but most famously, they used it coming up in '99, coming up for the new golden dollars to figure out some of the washes they would use, some of the striking characteristics of the new metals. So there's quite a few different ones they used for that. This one, obviously being struck on a scent planchet, doesn't make much sense because why? Aside from maybe just
Somebody goofing off.
right, maybe. But they also, the story here in Coin World says that it may be a product error because the mint did lend some of these dies out to the companies that were making the planchets to check on some of the washes and stuff.
That's true.
So it's something that
There were a lot of people that had access to these dies.
correct. But the fact that it did show up in a bag of 99 Lincoln cents tells us that it might be a mint product and it might be somebody screwing around. So hard to say.
Hard to say.
Oh,
Yeah, so here now we're finally getting to it. So the 2026 Trump gold coin has now passed the Commission on Fine Arts.
all right.
Look, I try as hard as I can to keep political stuff out of this show. And
Yes, we do.
And I will say that we're going to put the political stuff in a box. We're going to put it over here. Like
Yes.
the man, hate the man, whatever. There are practical reasons why we don't want living people on coins. There is probably a really good reason right now to not take somebody who is so divisive and put them on a coin.
Right.
And it's kind of late in the process to be designing and authorizing 2026 coins. Now, that said, they haven't been authorized by Congress. So until that happens, it's not going to come. It could be a metal, it could be a lot of different things, but it can't be a coin. So that said, we'll see what happens. Also, that said, there is going to be a Trump dollar unless they end the presidential dollar series before one is made. So, other than the obvious vanity project that this is, that's it. Hello? Hello? Okay. Everybody muted for that story. Are you with me?
Yes, keeping the politics out.
Thank you. Matt just wants like code dead. A unique 1849 handmade gold dollar pattern was engraved by hand at the U.S. Mint. You're muted, Matt. There. Well. And moving on. Yes, that's I can think of John Oliver every time I say that. Moving on. So only 4 examples of this were struck in gold are known. This is kind of cool and really important because it was hand engraved. So the gold dollar debuted in 1849. They were really trying to figure things out, particularly because of all the gold in the gold rush that was being discovered. It was flooding some of our assay offices and things like that with more product. And so they were trying to figure out different ways to make stuff. The other thing I think that's important to remember is that during this time in the Old West, because of the ready availability of gold and silver, people really didn't want any other form of money. So while people in the East would use, silver dollars and banknotes and other things, people in the West were really about hard money. And so that was what they really wanted to do. Back, Matt?
No, Matt.
No, Matt. Okay. Well, just
Very cool coin, though.
yeah. No, I like that one a lot.
Absolutely. I do too.
Oh God, now I gotta find where I'm at. All right. The Red Book has exceeded 315,000 copies, and now they are going to print more editions of it. He's moving now. Still can't hear you, but you're moving.
His eyes are rolling.
Yeah, well, that's constant. So we've moved on. Now we're on to the Red Book.
Hello?
There he is.
Okay,
There he
something's
is.
going on with my
Hello?
soundboard. It's just quit working. Okay, well, if this will work, I'll just use this.
Okay.
All right, start the story over. We'll just cut her off right there. Go.
Which the
The Incuse one's fine. The 1849 handmade gold.
a unique 1849 gold dollar pattern that was hand engraved by the Mint is come to light, or is this available now?
I think it's known. I think it's been known, but in January 24, it looks like the last one sold.
I'm just wondering why Coin Week decided to
Well, it's a neat piece.
It is a
Sometimes
neat
they don't have an ulterior motive besides just to talk about a neat piece. They're not for sale. It doesn't look like. So, maybe it was a slow news week and they needed something.
So this is a patterned coin that had not only a hole in the middle, a square hole in the middle, but hand engraved. As I think a lot of us know, during the gold rush in the Old West, it was really customary for people to use gold and silver dust because it was readily available. In the
Right.
East, people would use the banks. They'd use banknotes, they'd use copper nickel coins, they'd use tokens. They were cool with a lot of that because they had much more trust in the structure. But in the West, not so much, because the other stuff was everywhere. So they were really insistent on having $1 coins. If you note, that's where the California gold, quarter dollars came from, is people's reluctance to use anything other than real money.
I just love the hand engraved aspect of it. That is freaking neat. It's almost like they were. It is technically a pattern, so it's a prototype per se. But I just love the fact that it's like some guy just sat down with a sharp object and just started doodling, and that's what he came up with.
Yeah, and how crude it is.
Yeah, I love it.
And you can see the blocking from where they tried to make the lettering and stuff like that. It's just cool.
Yeah, super neat piece. Super neat.
Seen a fake of this, Jack? Jack with us? Oh,
Can you hear me?
Oh, I can. Oh, let's see. Okay. So the Red Book has exceeded all the copies that they made, which
What the heck?
is like 3 printings now. So they have decided they are going to print even more copies.
I don't have that story.
Okay. Well, that's okay. It's kind of a short story. I just wanted to congratulate Whitman. They're going
Oh,
to
here, go for it.
26 Red Books, and the new one is coming out in July. So if you've had a problem finding a 2026 Red Book, they are printing more.
There you go.
Jeff Garrett kind of confirmed that today on Frosties.
He did.
Coupon code the coin show at whitman.com for a sweet discount.
But yes, Frostbite Coins had Jeff Garrett on this morning as a guest, and he told us that the new one will be available in July. That was a scoop.
Gotta love Jeff. Jeff's good people.
He's a good guy. The United States Mint Director will appear at the Central States Numismatic Society in Schaumburg, as will somebody we know.
Yeah, he's getting out. I really like it.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's just in, so it's the world tour. He's got to meet his fans. It's like the Pope. He's got to make a world tour.
Kiss hands and shake babies.
Right. That's what I'd do.
Yeah, totally.
So April 22nd through 25th of 2026 at the Renaissance Schaumburg Convention Center. Paul Hollis will be there, and you can stop by and meet him. One of the things I said when we interviewed him, at Baltimore, and if you haven't seen it, you should go back and watch that. Was that in the time from when I went up to meet him to bring him down to the floor, he took time with every single person who wanted to take a minute for him. So it's like super accessible guy. He is going to speak at the Newman Numismatic Portal Symposium. And actually, so am I.
Yeah, same day, right? No, he's on Thursday.
Yeah, I close it.
You shut her down. You're
I am the closer every year. I love closing the Numismatic Portal. I think in terms of the fact that I break it.
Yeah. Only the real nerds go to Mike's presentation.
So it's like this year we'll be doing Tales from Over the Counter.
It's like Tales from the Crypt.
Something like that, yeah.
That'll be fun.
Well, it's given by the Crypt Master, the Crypt Keep. The ANA has created a numismatic diploma. I can't speak this morning. Diploma program fully online.
Well, one more time.
The ANA has created a numismatic diploma program fully online.
Mike, we need to do this. Why are we not doing this?
I don't know.
I should do it as well. It just sounds like a really cool thing.
You can earn a numismatic scholar certificate online. So it's long been one of their best opportunities, and now they've moved it online. So
I like that.
To complete the required coursework, receive a numismatic scholar certificate. Credential recognizes their commitment to structured numismatic study, unlike what we do here.
Yes, this is totally unstructured numismatic shenanigans.
And on certain days, completely off the rails.
Yes.
Courses have been updated for today's numismatic landscape. So they were designed to align the curriculum with the evolving numismatic world.
I like it.
Yeah. Let's see. Stacks and Bowers has also launched a 2026 professional numismatist program. So if you want to learn the business, Stacks Bowers might have a place for you.
I was going to say, this sounds more like a headhunting program than anything else.
It is, but at the end of the day, if you want to work in the coin business and you want to learn, Stacks is a great place to learn.
Yeah, I mean, they have
there.
Yeah, they have some of the biggest names in the industry that work there. You're not wrong.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Kralovich worked there.
Yeah, still does.
Kyle Pontario.
Yeah.
There's a few. And they're covering the travel, the lodging, meals, beverages, entertainment. So you can focus on your learning and networking and their grunt work.
Yes. Hey, cool. No, don't get me wrong. I like it. I think it's a good program. I think that any program that is there to teach firstly is great. Yes.
And finally, in the news, Coin Week this week.
Hey,
interesting article from somebody we might have in studio.
Let's just let him.
This article.
Let's just let him talk about it.
Why don't you go ahead and you can close it.
That sounds great. So, a friend approached me in another forum about a coin that he had purchased. He bought it online, of course, from eBay, and those were the images from the seller. And he looked at it as an AU coin. He immediately sent it to PCGS, and he was disappointed when it came back body bagged as counterfeit. So he was, what's going on? And so we had some contact. We talked, and I said, I really can't tell a lot from the images. They're not very good. And he offered to send the coin to me, which he did. And so I've got images that show the body bag, and then an image that shows it on the scale. And it was a little bit heavy, but was within tolerance. We put it on, just check the metal with a Sigma, and it was silver. And so really started looking at it, and it was like, well, wait a minute. The reverse is wrong. The reverse type is wrong. And then, of course, I went to my go-to guy from Morgan's, Jack Riley. And it's a Type 4 reverse, and that didn't actually occur until 1901 with that mint, with New Orleans. So that was the first big red flag. And then continue to look at the coin and look at the mint mark and look at basically the two VAMs that we knew were genuine coins, and the tilt of the mint mark was wrong. So there really wasn't much right. Now, one of the things I saw was that the D in dollar was pretty messed up. I mean, it had some notches in it. It looked like some strike through, something going on with that D that I had not seen on any Chinese counterfeit at this point. And we continue to look at the coin. The date font was wrong. The 3 looks kind of hand carved. It did not look right either. And continuing on down here, if we could. So I talked some more to the guy that owned it, and he told me about the seller. And, that's one of the things you go in and look at on eBay. You look at a seller and you try to understand, did he know what he was doing? Well, he had 12 negative feedbacks in the last year, mostly for coins, mostly for basically bait and swap. And he actually had a similar coin, 1895 that when the guy did the negative feedback, he actually took really good pictures and included them in there. That was the only way to really see what was going on. And when we went in and actually enlarged the image, it had the same defective D. So it actually has the same reverse as the subject coin here. I went in and tried to send him a note, and it immediately told me he does not accept any messages. And so, that's another big red flag. So,
I don't want to hear the truth.
I don't want to hear from you. I don't want to hear from anybody. And so continue down with the story. And the bottom line kind of was that the gentleman that bought the coin never really compared the coin in hand to the images from the seller. And had he done that, he would have realized that he did not get the coin that was listed. And so this was a fun article. This is probably one of my favorite articles. There's a new editor there that's replaced Charles Morgan that does a really nice job. And typically when you write an article like this for Coin Week, you might get 1 or 2 comments. This one has 26 comments if you go to the bottom of it. And so I think that it struck a chord with a lot of people as really an educational exercise, which is really what I wanted it to be. And that's really what it's all about. So I was very, very pleased with the article and the reception that it's had so far. And the coin was donated. So I have that coin. I'll bring that coin to Central States with some others. And I'm going to continue to look for that reverse and see if we see some more of these with different dates.
Yeah, I was going to say, because the original images sure do look genuine. I was a little concerned if that coin in the original images was the counterfeit, because it looks pretty darn okay compared to
exactly. That's exactly right. So again, it's a bait and switch, and that's exactly what the guy with the 95 said, that the images didn't look anything like what he got in hand.
Yeah.
And a guy's still running on eBay and has all these negative feedback. So, buyer beware. And these are the worst. I mean, the ones where you're trying to assess it with images that the seller's posting, and they're not what you're going to get. Those are really the worst ones. You got to really look at what you got when you get it in hand.
Yeah, those kind of sellers tend to just throw stuff at the wall, and whatever sticks, and they don't care about the negative stuff, and they'll just make a new account and start over, and they don't care.
It's easier.
So he's got another one. He's got a 1903 for sale right now that I'm watching. If it doesn't go too high, I may consider being the next owner.
Bananas.
So that was the news, and the news today was brought to us, let's see, by Halogen Lights, because your good can be fine with the wrong lighting.
That's always good.
Okay.
Sorry about all the technical problems. I have no idea what is going on.
It's probably my fault.
No, it's not your end.
Well,
opposed, but the worst part about
definitely something here. I'm just trying to figure it out.
Yeah, he's created work for himself.
Let's try that.
So let's go to the chat. Let's see what's going on. Let's see what we got, what we done got going on.
Hey friends, let me just add this chat to the screen so we can just see what's going on, everybody. Jack Riley is here talking about that last story. Farm Dog, what was the Whitman discount code, please? If you go to Whitman.com, it is The Coin Show. All one word, get you that sweet discount. So get all your finest numismatic literature. And yep, just use that. You should get a discount.
Yep.
We are asleep. David Carlisle says we're sleeping. We're sleeping.
We are asleep. I don't think that's true.
I would certainly hope not, but you know.
So I want to thank Kevin Kelly, one of our listeners for a long time. Stopped by our shop this week. Stopped in, said hi, and it's always nice to meet people that don't see every day, that we see on these streams. Do any of you have questions for Jack or for Matt?
Or for Mike?
Well, for me too. I mean,
Yeah, or for Mike.
Stupid stuff. I mean, I'll give it to you. Let's see.
Yeah, I got it worked out again. I'm just trying to see if I got anything fixed.
You work it back in?
Trying to. Frank McCain said, "What is the name of your coin shop?" I think he's talking about you, Mike.
So I work for Harlan J. Burke. It's an ancient coin dealer in downtown Chicago. It's in the Loop. It is the only one in the Loop, and it is the oldest coin shop in the United States for location. It has been a coin shop since the 1940s.
Awesome. There you go. All right. Looks like we got some questions rolling in. M. Lovebo says, what do you guys think of owning counterfeits that you know are counterfeits and not counterstanding them with copy? Is that cool? Well, you're supposed to, but I think for numismatic study, I think it's probably okay to not, especially if you're not trying to pass them off to someone.
I want to get Jack's comment on this, but I have a fairly consistent opinion on this. If the world was a vacuum and you were the only person that was ever going to own it, it'd be fine. The problem is that at some point you will cease to exist and the coin will remain. And if it is not marked copy, then it could become a problem to future collectors.
Yeah, and especially Jack Riley makes another good point. If it's contemporary, it's a gray area because those are collectible in their own right. And how do you deal with that? So,
right.
Jack, do you have an opinion on that one?
I share Mike's opinion, and it's interesting. My wife and I talk quite a bit about what happens if I'm no longer here. For those that know me, I probably have one of the most extensive collection of counterfeit coins and genuine TPG holders.
I've seen a lot of it.
Extremely well documented. I bring them to exhibits. Matt and I had fun in Indy with my exhibit, and we had a lot of fun.
Yeah, we did.
But it is a concern, and of course the TPGs are aware of the coins, and I could sell them all back to them, and that would take them off the market. And that's one of the thoughts. I could donate them to ANA or ANS or somebody that would like to do an exhibit, because most of them are that good. I mean, when I went down the rabbit hole in 2015, they were very deceptive, and they're still very deceptive. And someone made a comment, I think, on Frosties today that some of them are still showing up in TPG holders just months ago.
Yep.
And, I had Jeff Garrett actually at my table when we were looking at the 1806 half-cent counterfeits. And I was explaining the diagnostics, and his comment was, well, those are just die varieties, And I said, yeah, they're die markers, but of false dies. These are all counterfeit coins. And, and then again, he calls me the counterfeit guy. So that's kind of fun. But it is a concern. And so it's something I'm going to have to come to grips with. When I get coins, I'll buy some coins on eBay, and basically to get them in hand and document them so that I can write an article and show the die markers. And Jack Riley does the same thing. And we're trying to push articles out there to show people, because they continue to come out. The Chinese counterfeiters are not sleeping. They continue to bring out more more coins, more product. And so we just try to stay ahead of that with articles and just show the hobby that, this is what's going on. And, they're not marked copy. I mean, you might even see images on AliExpress where they've superimposed copy on the coin, but it's just in the image, and the coin you get is not.
A photoshopped copy.
It's a Photoshop copy. There's no question of that.
It's a thing. It happens.
Photoshop coins on the whole bit. So it is a concern. And, obviously when I see coins on eBay, even the ones that say copy on them, it's against their policy to sell those coins. And the concern is always the secondary market. And I've got a handful of coins that are copies where they wore the copy down. They put the coin in and they washed it and did what they could do and dried it and whatever they could.
Some of the old Gallery Mint stuff.
Absolutely. And so copies missing. And what happens in the secondary market? So it's a concern. When you have them in hand, it's a concern. If you're doing it for research and study, good. But at some point, you got to come to grips with what are you going to do with them.
Yep. Another great question, and if you don't want to answer it, it's totally fine. But Dad's Junk asks, what's the most you've ever paid for a fake coin?
Oh,
if you don't want to answer it, it's okay.
No. It's fine. It's fine. One of my favorite coins is a 1796 S85 large cent, and it's the best coin in my collection. I found another one that doesn't have the same marker on the face as mine has, but it has all the other die markers. And I found it in it was a coin dealer in California. And I hate to admit I paid $1,200 for it. That is the most I've ever paid for a counterfeit. And immediately the TPG said that they want it back. And I bought it, one, to get it off the market, and two, to just see if I could prove that it was in fact counterfeit like the other one. And it has all the matching die markers. So it is. But it was actually retooled. And I found that in some of these really good counterfeits where there's actually die varieties where they went in and at some point tried to address some of the markers and then re-engrave some things and create another coin, but it still has some of the same die markers from the original coin. So
are they watching you?
Oh, I'm sure they are. I'm sure they are. That particular dealer ended up with about 7 different bad coins that we had documented. And so I don't know that he was an outlet for the company in Texas that was pumping them out, but he certainly had a number of them. And that was the one I bought that was certainly the most expensive.
That's somewhat suspicious.
Yes, very suspicious.
Huh. Very cool. Let's see here. How do you feel about...
M. Love Mo says, does not counter stamping them with copy apply to both U.S. and world coins? So the important part to know about the stamping it with copy is part of the Hobby Protection Act, which is a United States statute. So it doesn't apply anyplace else. Is it a good idea? Yes, but it's not the law anyplace else.
Here's one. With all the counterfeits sold on eBay, has or do the feds investigate the sellers? And I could probably answer this one, but if I'm wrong, Jack, you tell me. They ain't got time for that. Unless it's a massive, massive organization offering, millions and millions of dollars of fakes on a big level. The government, unfortunately, especially the Secret Service, they just don't have time for those little guys that are making $500 coins, $1,000 coins. They just don't. And it's just unfortunate, but it just is what it is. They're going after the people that are making, the containers full of fake Jordan shoes, or containers full of fake purses. They're actually getting those guys. And it's unfortunate, but it is what it is.
Well, you have to have an impact big enough to justify the man hours.
Yep.
That's what it really comes down to. So they're not a big enough nuisance, unfortunately.
Can I make a long-winded comment?
Please.
So again, back when I started down the rabbit hole, we documented about 25 different types of coins and denominations that a ring in Texas was making. There was a money man that was actually in China, and the coins were being sold through about 7 different eBay sellers out of College Station, Texas. And we identified that. And I identified a number of the coins and did actually a write-up for it. And Beth from the Anti-Counterfeiting Task Force at the time asked me to go to DC and participate in a couple meetings. The first one was with some folks from the Senate Finance Committee talking about intellectual property issues associated with the new fake counterfeit slabs that were coming out. She had a NGC and I had a PCGS, and we talked to those folks for a while. And then we went and talked to a senior member of Secret Service, and that ended up into about a 2-hour conversation. And I presented all the information about this ring that was in College Station, Texas. And, he took the binder, and, it was one of those things where it was so large, and there were a lot of, $100 and $200 or $50 coins, but there were some like the one I paid $1,200 for that were in that collection as well. And I didn't really expect to hear much, but about a week later, I got a call from Texas Border Protection, and the gentleman had identified the location, and we talked about it a bit, and he knew them, and he kind of knew what was going on. And he said, quite honestly, you'll probably never hear anything from us again. But we look at things like this as opportunities where there's money laundering going on along with tied to the counterfeiting, as well as we look at issues with, people trafficking. And the other side of that business actually was something that was identified as bring women in from China to go to college. And that didn't sound very good either. And about another week later, I got a call from the Treasury Department, and again, some more follow-up, and there was a mass purge on eBay. All the sellers just disappeared. And that whole thing just seemed to dry up. And we never saw any product coming out of that. So, I've been told what may or may not have happened. But again, I think they went after them for human trafficking and other things associated with the counterfeiting.
Wow.
Good. Well, but that's one of many, unfortunately, and that's the problem.
Many, exactly.
Let's see here. Okay. So what's the actual punishment for selling fakes among dealers of those in numismatic? What is the hobby's response to those who sell fakes? Does that person or business become persona non grata? Yeah, if you get a reputation for somebody that does sell fakes, you get blacklisted fairly quickly from a lot of the main things that you need to do business. The grading companies will blacklist you if you're doctoring coins or buying and selling counterfeits or trying to pass a lot of counterfeits through them. If the industry itself has a couple of different regulatory committees or regulatory organizations, I would say, that will to get people booted out of shows but you can't stop somebody from operating a brick and mortar business or having an office somewhere. So I mean, no matter how hard the industry tries to get these people out, sometimes it's just not possible. So that's a good question. Does counterfeiting run rampant with world coins as it does U.S. coins? My answer to that, and Jack, again, correct me if I'm wrong, is it may even be more prevalent in some types of world coins than it is in U.S. coins, because a lot of places in the world have a lot less restrictive rules on that. Eastern Europe, for example, China, of course. So I think they counterfeit just about anything and everything. I've seen counterfeit wheat cents from the 50s, if that tells you what they're willing to counterfeit. We had a handful the other day. We had a handful of counterfeit commandate mercury dimes that were like in XF condition. And they were all counterfeit. They will make anything as long as they can make a buck on it. So, yeah. Yes.
Capitalism at its finest.
Yeah.
So, any last comments on counterfeiting that you want to make, Jack? Anything you'd like to put a fine point on?
No, I don't think so. I just, we continue to write articles and have discussion boards, and I've got a couple of Facebook groups that we talk about. Fun with Fakes is the latest one, and that's got a lot of beginner folks that we're just trying to let them come on board and understand and really teach. Dark Side is large, has a lot of dealer content, and so that's another good source to go through and look. And again, just trying to get the word out. I mean, opportunities like this are just fabulous. The fact that you will go through my articles and your shows is great.
Everyone, I think we've covered every article.
I think we have, because
every article you have.
it's a great palate cleanser at the end of the news. It's like, and finally in the news.
And I appreciate that. And I've made some inroads with Coin Week. I now have, or I'm sorry, Coin World. And so now I've had 3 articles that have been published there, and they actually want to pay me, which is kind of cool. But again, just get the word out. And that's really what we're trying to do. You know, Frosty's, I love being on panel there. I'm a one-trick pony, though. I mean, I'm mostly just talking about counterfeits, but every opportunity I get, I certainly want to take that as well.
Love it.
Well, you always have a soapbox to stand on here.
I appreciate it.
So I guess
That's
it's time.
You know what? He's the counterfeit guy, but we're gonna have a competition with the counterfeit guy.
Yes.
And we're gonna do it right now.
We are. And
Let's bring it. Let's bring it.
This has been, I've been looking forward to this all week long.
Okay, give me just a second here, Mike. Do you want us to go first, or do you want Jack to go first?
What I thought we could do, again, we said this was a tag team. I thought Matt could do his, and I could do my one that says for Matt.
Okay.
And Mike could do his, and I could do my one for Mike.
That's fair.
Is that fair? Mano a mano. Let's go.
Okay, fine. I've been saving this one for a while, you guys.
And believe it or not, this walked in our store last week.
No, I'm going first, buddy.
No, I'm just saying.
Oh,
my thing literally
yes.
our store last week.
Yes, you're right. Okay. Sorry, I thought we were getting confused there. Okay. Speaking of confused, live coolest areas.
Oh, I mean,
all right, here is my guys. This is the coolest thing that walked in our store.
I remember this.
This walked in a couple months ago now. We bought it across the counter with a bunch of other classic gold, and the coin was just absolutely stunning, original, non-monkeyed with. It even had some crusty stuff. We just left it alone. I didn't even want to touch it. I sent this coin straight into PCGS, and they graded it as an AU50. Absolutely beautiful coin. Not something that just comes strolling across the counter every day. So I was very, very happy to get this coin in. And I'm also very happy that it is going to win against Jack Young, whatever he brought.
Now, this is a 5, correct?
This is an 18055. Yep.
Okay, because this is one of the first ones where it doesn't have a denomination and there's really no context as far as size. So
correct. Yes, this is a $5 gold piece. I'm sorry. Yes.
No, of course.
Very, very nice piece. So let me get very nice. Let me get Jack's file ready here that he had. Sorry,
that's a pretty good coin. I like it.
I'm going back and forth between formats here, so give me just a second.
Right.
This one says versus Matt.
Walt.
Versus Matt. Yes.
Versus Matt. Okie dokie, sir. Well, let me get yours pulled up. What is that? That is not what I was looking for.
Audio.
Okay, let's see.
Yeah, be careful. I sent you a couple files.
Oh, you're good. Okay, here we go. Versus Matt. Here we are.
Can you make it any bigger?
All right.
That is.
I can surely try. Yep, right here. Here we go. Whoops.
Surely.
Okay, so my first one is not a counterfeit. That's probably a surprise.
What?
Holy crap.
This is not a counterfeit coin. This is a genuine coin. This is a 1798 large cent that I proved has been documented to be struck over a 1788 Druid Condor halfpenny. It is the only one known to exist. I actually posted it on the Condor Cafe Facebook page, and of course, it just went crazy, went ballistic. You can actually see the markings. You can see the H. You can see the H. You can see part of the wreath markings through TY. I took it actually to Central States and went to some of the Condor experts, and they absolutely agree. Yes, that is what it is. It's a surprise. Didn't expect something like this to end up at the mint and be used as a planchet to strike a genuine coin. There's actually what the Druid looks like, and they're cool and very collectible in their own right. And then I sent the coin into PCGS. It originally was in a holder that said it was over some foreign planchet, and they agreed with the with what we had done as far as proving what it was, and actually changed the label on it to identify it as what it was actually overstruck. So an Angsley 1788 halfpenny, a Druid halfpenny token. Then I've got a little cheap microscope, but it's really pretty cool. And again, it goes through and you can just see some of the overtype and undertype. And again, the 8 shows up very clearly under the A and part of the other, the H and some other things. So absolutely one of the coolest coins in my collection. That's a genuine coin. So I know that's kind of a surprise, but I've had a number of people that are very, very interested in this particular coin.
Yeah, and it's not unheard of, especially on the early half cents, 1795, 1796, 1797. You see them struck on cut down tokens all the time.
You do, and you see them, but no one has seen one over a Condor token.
Right,
over,
sure.
Yeah,
sure.
exactly.
And definitely an Ascent too is very interesting.
Yeah. Exactly, and that's a surprise. I wondered how that ended up. You know, they were buying planchets from Bolton, and the thought is that maybe that got mixed in with some of the blank planchets and found its way into the press. So very low grade, but very identifiable.
Very awesome piece. Well, that's a good fight right there. I'll tell you what; those two are absolute monsters, the both of them. So now we're going to move on to Mr. Noodle's item, which was 2 coins. Or I'm sorry, 2 pictures.
I was going to say, it's not 2 coins.
Nope, it's 2 pictures. And I apologize for the quality of the pictures. This is on me.
I apologize for the quality of the picture because I have to take one for the team here. It's like I took the crappiest pictures I've ever taken in my life because I just wanted to kind of show Matt, what it was that I bought. And we decided to send this coin off and have it graded. And I didn't get decent pictures of it before it did, although I do have a grade for it. So this is an 1861 $5 gold that crossed my counter last week. And this one, if you look at the little mint mark above the V and 5, you'll see a single C. This is 1861 Charlotte. And so I'm not as familiar with these as I would be with the 1861 New Orleans issues. I'm not sure if these were struck by the Confederacy or struck by the United States Mint or struck by the state of North Carolina. I'm really not sure. But I do know this. I did not expect this coin to straight grade. But if you look, the detail is really, really nice. And if you look at
that's a cool coin. I like that coin a lot.
We got a grade back this week, and it graded AU 50.
That's a monster coin because that coin only has a mintage of 6,500 or something. It's very small.
There's less than a dozen in this grade, and you can see that this is right around the grade where people resubmit a lot.
Yeah. And that, I saw the coin, I saw these images and I was like, man, that's a great coin, but man, it looks like it's been monkeyed with. But apparently the images were the issue.
I really expected that because the images are horrible. But apparently PCGS liked it. And we're gonna send it off to Mr. Albanese and see what he has to say. And so all I could do is stand up, crotch chop you, and say, what do you got?
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. All right. Well, sir, I'm going to go ahead and pull that down now. That is your fire that you brought to the show. Now I'm going to bring Mr. Young's number 2 here. That did not sound correct, but you know what I mean.
Let the audience decide what's the number.
What a great show.
And here we go. This one is called Versus Mike file that I'm bringing up here. And it's a doozy. I think it's a familiar doozy, however. So... we'll
never been brought to the fight though.
Oh no, I don't disagree. I love it. Here we go.
Okay, so
I knew this was the coin you were going to bring. I knew it.
This is my 1796 large cent overstruck on a call 1843. It is a counterfeit, a struck counterfeit, and one of the interesting things that you see is the star in front of the face. A lot of people miss that. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. The image was actually done by master numismatist artist Bob Julian. Actually did that. I contracted him to do that. You can actually see, these are some of my images of the overstrike. You can see the star in front of the face. You can see the T and a Y of Liberty from the 1843. You can see part of the hair bun. I mean, everything lines up. It absolutely was struck over that coin. And back at the time when I saw these coins, you know, I had a bunch of coins sent out and XRF'd, and they kept coming back as being genuine era copper. And so my theory was that they'd actually had bought some call large cents and used those as planchets when they first started striking the counterfeits. And this was the first one I had where I actually was able to prove it. So once you see the star, you can't unsee it. Obviously, the TPG didn't see the star, so the coin is sitting in a genuine third-party grader holder as a genuine coin. And so that's one of those in my collection where I've got to decide what am I going to do with that as time passes on. But absolutely a killer, absolutely, you know, my best coin in my collection. And I thought I'd just bring it, Mike.
Well, I mean, you brought your plate coin. So I received the respect. But I did bring you. I brought you.
Yeah, you did. The very last image is cool because that's the one that Frosty did. Frosty actually did that little image there at the bottom that shows it, and we actually put it on a poker chip, so it's kind of cool. That one right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's very
I like the guy in the background who's like, I'm coming for you, counterfeiters. Is that some subliminal messaging?
This is the dark side coming.
That's subtle. They got their blackjacks. They're all ready to go.
We're ready.
So
very, very awesome. Very awesome.
You listeners get the fun part of this in that it'll be up on our Facebook page. You get to vote and you get to tell us who had the coolest thing. Jack, thank you so much for being here. Thanks for bringing it the way that you brought it. And I can't believe it was this long that we had before we had you on just proper as a guest, but we'll have you on again.
Yeah.
What were we thinking?
I love it. And again, Central State's going to be an opportunity to sit down and talk. And Mike, I have every intention of making it to the coin shop when I'm up there. So we got to do that.
Well, I will be there most of the week. That's kind of the way this thing works. Somebody's got to stay home and mind the shop. So if you're coming to Central States, you know, you go and see the show. And if you get bored for a little bit, hop on the L, hop on the train and just take it downtown and you can see me. And I'm there for everybody.
I have every intention of doing that. I will be there.
Jack Young does the Lord's work for us. Thank you for being our guest. And we'd like to thank, besides Jack, we'd like to thank all the people behind the scenes who make this possible. There's Ernesto, and there is Barry, and Justin, and Corey, and Russ, and Leanna, and everybody that kind of contributes to this merry clown car that we have that rolls down the street. So,
hey, Mike.
Yeah.
I did have a sponsor that we didn't include that I thought I'd just bring up.
Oh, absolutely. You want to sponsor me?
I mean, my sponsor for the show was Brillo pads. When you're tired of those pesky toning spots on your non-slab Morgans, Brillo pads.
So I think what we're going to do,
you're a monster.
Going
you're
forward,
monster.
He is a marketing genius. I think what we're going to do going forward is anytime we see a coin that's egregiously cleaned, we're going to actually state this coin is brought to you by Brillo.
Exactly.
Brillo pads.
Yeah.
Brillo pads.
Baking soda.
Brillo
pencil erasers.
A lot of people don't know, but Brillo is actually brillo, which is the Spanish word for bright.
I'm not calling it a Brillo pad. Sorry, buddy. It's a Brillo pad.
I'm saying it's the word is for bright, for shiny.
Sorry I did this.
Yeah, M Love Most goes straight to work on his early copper. So thanks for the idea.
Oh boy.
Let us know how that turns out, Mark. All right. So for the coin show, I'm Mike.
And I'm Matt.
And I'm Jack.
Jack. And we will talk to you on episode 255 of the Coin Show podcast.
Bye, everybody.
Hello, everybody.